Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I've got for you a tank review on the 121B. Now obviously I'm doing this in my new format of gameplay first, and then we'll go over into Tanks UG, we'll go down the stats, and then I'll give you guys my setup on how I set the tank up at the end of the video. So 121B, why am I doing a tank review on this thing now? It's kind of a weird tank to do. And that is because it's getting changed in the next patch. Obviously, this thing used to be a Clan Wars reward tank. It is now available for bonds in the bond store. And I'm just giving you guys my opinion on it once it's got its changes, whether I think it's going to be worth the bonds or not. So, first things first, we'll just run through the changes of this tank, just so you can see the differences between what's happening in this replay and what's going to be happening in this future after 1.13 if you do choose to get this tank. So, first couple of things is the top speed is being changed, both in forwards and reverse. You're getting an extra 5 kilometers an hour each. Oh, look at this shot. Hang on. Oh no, leopard's gone out of render. No problem. Yeah, you get an extra 5 kilometers an hour forwards and 5 kilometers an hour backwards of top speed. This puts the tank to 55 kilometers an hour forwards and 25 backwards, which is quite a nice buff. The tank is also getting a DPM buff. The base reload is going from 8.7 seconds down to 8.1. This takes the base DPM from 2,689 to 2,909, which is actually very, very nice. Like 2,909 base is a very, very nice change. And also the frontal armor is being changed. The hull armor is going from 130 to 135. This is according to changes early on. I'm not sure so much about the armor because all we've actually had from the test server patch notes is just armoring is being improved. These are just some things from like a leak website, so I'm not 100% sure on this. And the turret armor is going from 275 from 240 to 275. But yeah, so what is the 121B all about? Now, when this thing first got added into the game, it was absolutely atrocious, like a really, really, really poor tank. Then I believe it got given some buffs a little while ago, and then it's now getting some more buffs again. Actually, no, I know it got some buffs a little while ago because the heat got buffed, and that's one of the main things that I remember getting buffed on it. So like I said, this thing is available for bonds. I believe it's 15,000 bonds. I want to say 15 or... oh, it might be 20. I should have probably known this before I started the video. Oh well, it's available for some amount of bonds, and honestly, I think it's an okay tank now. I think with the changes, with like the DPM changes, it's going to be really, really good. And oh god, we just spotted Artie. I haven't got the gun depression. This is something that you see is limiting me very, very much here, is the fact that we haven't got the gun depression to really do anything that much in the middle. Obviously, I got the shot into the Leo, but since then, I've only really been spotting. Now, I should probably say that this game is a game on Prokhorovka. I'm in the 121B. I'm platooned up with Zhao in the Yegpanzer E100. And when I first saw this game, I really didn't want to come to the middle because there is triple Artie. And I thought I was just going to spend the entire game getting shot at by said triple Artie. And it was going to suck. Now, the reason I've gone to... look at this Progetto, man. Why... like, he doesn't get away with it for free. But if I made those kind of plays, I would have just died instantly. I'd just evaporate. There's a 4005, a Jaeger, an E3 all down there. Oh, I would have just disintegrated. But the main reason I've taken the 121B up to the mid-ridge on Prokhorovka, you see me playing so, like, sporadically. I'm moving all over the place, trying not to stay still, and that is because of the, well, what was 3, and fortunately I spotted out 1, so now 2 of the RT on the enemy team. But like I said, the main reason I've come to the middle, the 121B is actually, it's very accurate. 0.32, I think it's 0.33 base dispersion. The tank has got a 105mm gun. It's only got 261mm standard pen as opposed to 264, which is common on most 105s. But still, 261 is very nice. It's got APCR as standard, really nice shell velocity of 1,400, and So meters per second. Ooh, 420 roll. Very nice. Shooting the Jagdpanzer 100 from this range. Like I said, the DPM isn't amazing. 2,600 around about base. I think mine's up to probably around about 300, but 3,000, sorry. But if you take into account that something like the 907, I think, has nearly 3,000 base. The STB1 these days has an insane amount of base. It's very, very nice. I'm going to get back to it again. I think I've said this about 4 times. The main reason that I'm playing the mid-ridge on this map, obviously, a bit of the accuracy. You can snipe at longer ranges. You can be able to like hit the Jagdpanzer 100, for example, hit the Leopard, anything up on the hill. But also, this tank has got 420 meters base view range, which is some of the, I think it's joint equal best view range in the game with tanks such as the M60 and the M48 Patton. So very, very nice, easy for spotting. You don't really need to run optics on this tank. You can run vents and everything, but we'll come on to that towards the end of the video. But yeah, so other than that, the gun, it's got, obviously the 121B differs from the 121 in the fact that it's got a 105mm gun and not 122. The issue when this thing first came out, which is to why people were like, well, what the hell is the point of it, is because obviously you get a lower caliber gun, so you do less damage, but the 121 standard tank with the 122mm gun reloaded faster, even though it had higher alpha. So this thing's DPM was just absolutely awful. You see me here, what I'm trying to do is, Zal was saying, obviously something's pushed up quite a long way and is spotting, assuming it's the T100. So what I'm trying to do is trying to see if I could proxy him as he's coming down the line. I can't, I keep getting spotted for free and not spotting anything in return. So I say to Zal, unfortunately, I'm going to have to drop back into this next ridge. The trouble is, if I stay in this ridge and they full push down this way, I'm completely dead. If I push back up into the middle ridge, I can actually keep my crossfire and support from there. So like I said, this game to start has been pretty slow, to be fair. I've only done 1,130 damage, got 1,500 spotting, which is not too bad, but the game is definitely not done yet. We've now got a couple of American heavies up on top of the hill. Aim time, accuracy, like I said, really quite nice on this tank. Shell velocity as well, obviously makes it nice for shooting at tanks at long range. You don't have to give a lot of lead. The accuracy is, I believe, 0.33 on the dispersion, 0.33 base, and the aim time is around about, I've got the stats in front of me and I've just accidentally closed them. Bear with me 2 secs. Really good YouTuber, I promise. The base, pretend that never happened. The base aim time is 2.2 seconds, the base dispersion is 0.33, so obviously with a bit of equipment, you've got a bit of, premium consumable, you can get that down to pretty decent levels, to be honest. Again, trying to spot out, we spot an E3. There's still, even though we're 6-4 up, there's still quite a lot of HP on the enemy team, and obviously they're pushing this side of the map. Nice snapshot into the STB, get him out, and we spot the T100 as well. I don't know if I spotted him. No, I don't think I did, otherwise I'm pretty sure I'd got some spotting for that from somewhere. And now you can see the enemies are starting to push up the 1-2 line. Fortunately for me, because obviously I'm platoon with Zal, he dropped right back into the like hull down position, which is really difficult to take. And fortunately for us as well, the Grill seems to have known what he's doing, and he's taken the position that has crossfire over in A1. Now what I say here is, I'm going to get unspotted, build up a bit of momentum, and then I'm going to push in over at the CS. I see an Arty shell. You saw the tracer go in, but then it didn't explode, so I know that he took a shell from Arty. I then jump him, finish him off, because I only need one shot to finish him, and the E3 gets absolutely annihilated as I spot him sideways on. He shoots me, bounces off my turret, and just gets annihilated by, I think it was probably Zal and the Grill, and oh god, there's a 4005 as well. Kranvung's preoccupied with everything else. 4005 isn't looking at me, so I decide, you know what, I'm going to go up and look. Fire on the move, get a bit of spotting on him. GW100, can we get the kill? Can we get the kill? Can we get a shot in? Yeah, good shot, 401 damage, and he gets finished off by the IS-7. I believe the Kranvung's reloading, he's not looking at me anyway, and I can take, I can take all 3 from him. Some of the time, not often. Go for the ram, because why the hell not? It takes his tracks off, forces him to use a repair kit, so I now know if I need to track him again, but clearly he is reloading because he is not shooting me. Try and get round him, open up the angle, finish him off, and then all that's left is an Object 261, and he just shoots me, so I know exactly where he is. Line up the shot, Got HE loaded. The HE on this tank is actually quite nice, 105mm a pen. We don't hit him on the first one. Again, keep the shell lined up. I go to try and gain a bit of elevation. Shoot blind on the second. And I think I hit him with one. Unfortunately, the HE didn't pen. Oh, look, RT shell was just about to annihilate him. I obviously didn't pen the HE because it did a lot more damage. But I think we hit him with HE. What's annoying is that this HE, like I said, really nice. 105 millimeters of penetration. Very nice HE round. But yeah, that's all she wrote for this game. 4,946 damage that we saw. 3,818 spotting or assisted, which is a very, very nice game overall. 8.7k. I believe... I honestly can't remember. I'll go into the post-game stats at the very end of the video, but before that, we'll jump over into Tanks GG, and we'll go down the stats of the vehicle just so you can actually get the numbers in front of you. I'll compare it to some others as well, and then I'll go through my setup back in the garage. So, here we go, guys. Nice and quickly, we'll just compare. We've got the 121B on the left, the 121 in the middle. Oh, I'm so going to get tripped up when trying to say that. And the Object 140 on the right. So just a couple of tanks. Obviously, the 121 is the Tech Tree equivalent. And then the 140, I think most people have played the 140, whether it be they have it in their garage, or if they just have played it in like as a rental at some point or something like that. So straight off the bat, we have obviously the 105mm gun of the 121B, 122mm gun on the 121, and a 100mm gun on the 140. So we're slap bang in the middle in terms of average damage at the 390. 261mm pen is on the lowest on the standard rounds, but it is APCR, which is nice. The 121's is only AP, which means it does have a slower shell velocity. However, the 121B has really nice heat rounds, has 350mm a pen on the heat, which is better than the 340 on the 121 and 330 on the Object 140. Traditionally, 105s have the 330 heat pen, but this thing has 350 for whatever reason. DPM is the lowest out of the three in this comparison, which is kind of annoying, obviously, like I said before, considering that you've got lower alpha than the 121 and you've also got the lower DPM isn't great, but that is going to change in the next patch. I think it's going up to pretty much what the 140's DPM is, which is very nice. Ammo capacity is pretty decent, 50 rounds, you don't really have to scrimp on shells there. Gun handling is actually quite nice, 2.2 seconds aim time, not quite as good as the 140, but a lot better than the standard 121. Base accuracy is quite nice at 0.33. Obviously, it's not like a Leopard or a Centurion Action 10, but still 0.33 is decent. And like I said, with equipment and crew skills, you can get that down quite nice. And that's why in the gameplay I was playing in the middle, because it allows you to snipe off to either side and able to hit shots. 0.14 dispersions whilst moving, tank traverse, and then 0.1 on turret traverse. Turret traverse is pretty decent. Moving, it's average. The 140s is just really good. So you do still definitely need vert stabs. And again, I'll come on to my equipment in just a minute. Gun elevation of 18 degrees is quite nice. Gun depression of 5 degrees, bleh, not so nice. But obviously, same as the 121. Same as if you've got the 907, something like that. And I think the 430U has 5 as well. So it's not out of the ordinary. It's not terrible like 3 like I think the 121 used to have. 50 kilometers an hour forwards, but by the time you're watching this video, it's probably going to be 55. So pretty much on par with the others. 25 backwards, which again will be very nice and will be better than the other two. With a 700 horsepower engine and only weighing 40 tons, actually gives it a really respectable horsepower per ton of 17.5, which is better than the other two in this comparison as well. Terrain resistance is pretty average, to be fair. Turret traverse 42 degrees a second, very nice. Tank traverse 50 degrees a second, very nice. Not quite as good as the 140, but 50 degrees is still, you're not going to have any issues with tank traverse. The armor, like I said before, is I think the hull armor is being made equal to the 121, so 135 on the front, on the upper plate, which is obviously better than the 140. 80mm on the side is quite nice as well. Obviously, no overmatching is occurring there. The turret armor is getting buffed, like I said, I believe to 275. So that'll actually be a really nice strong turret, and we will look at the armor in just a second. 1,950 health, which is pretty much average at tier 10 for a medium tank, to be honest. And then we have that absolutely monstrous 420 meters view range, which is very, very nice. So, all in all, the 121B is... It sacrifices, obviously its main thing in the past was it sacrificed its DPM for a bit better like gun handling and obviously the view range and a tiny bit better mobility in terms of power to weight, but not the speed. After the buffs, I think this thing's going to be really a very nice tank because the DPM, which was one of the things that let it down, is being buffed, and the top speed is being made equal to the rest, so now it's just going to have better horsepower per ton, and it's obviously getting that extra armor buff as well, which is just very, very nice. Very, very nice even. We'll just look at the armor very quickly, just so you can kind of see what you're dealing with. So this is as it was shooting back at itself, so with 261mm of standard pen. You can see the upper plate is fairly weak. You're not really going to have much of a problem going through it. When it gets buffed to 135, because it is quite a nice angle, it will make it slightly better. I'd say it will probably be, instead of like a greeny yellow, it'll be more of a deep yellow or orangey yellow, so you've got like around a 50-50 chance of going through it. The lower plate is obviously quite weak at only 80mm thick, so if you can shoot this thing in the lower plate, shoot it in the lower plate. Turret, again, is getting buffed, so these areas that are 240, I believe, are going up to 275, so this tank's a turret is actually going to be really, really nice. If you can get this thing hull down, it's going to be a very nice tank to use. You have got cupolas, but they are quite small. They're quite weak in parts, but again, they're not something like on the M60, which is a huge weak spot on the top. Side armor, like I said, 80. You can't really side scrape in it. You can a little bit, maybe. Nah, not so much. You're always going to be able to give a little bit of the corner of your hull, and people might still be able to shoot through the drive wheel. But it's nice because obviously people can't overmatch it. So if you do over angle and they do still happen to shoot your side, they're not going to overmatch, because 80mm, I don't think, no, nothing in the game can overmatch it. Not even the T92, when it used to have AP, could overmatch the side of that. Anyway, let's go jump into the garage, and I will just go through my setup very quickly, and then at the end of the video I will just jump over into what replays, and we'll just do the post-game stats of the replay if you're interested. So here we go, guys, quickly into the garage, and fairly standard setup for my tank. I've gone with rammer, vert stabs. Like I said, I still believe you need the vert stabs. Yes, you've got a very nice aim time, but I still think vert stabs are always good to have. And I've gone for vents, obviously, because your base view range is 420, with proven consumable, a half decent crew, and the vents in the improved slot. I've got 479 meters view range. You do not need optics on top of that. If you really want to take optics, you can, and obviously that'll boost them up by even boost it up by even more. Sorry. If you want to as well, you could even consider dropping the vents. Obviously you lose 13 meters view range, and going with a turbo. I think when I equipped this tank, turbo wasn't actually in the game, but obviously 10% to engine power, so what's that, 770 horsepower, and with 5 kilometers an hour, and then the extra 5 kilometers an hour once the buff happens, you'll be going 60, which is that's starting to turn it into a very, very mobile tank. I would recommend proven consumable. It's a bit like a Russian tank, where the fuel tanks are in the front, so you do get set on fire every now and again, but it's up to you. I mean, I'm not, to be fair, either way, it is what it is. If you put proven consumable in, you get set on fire. You put proven consumable in, you get set on fire. What you can do. What do I think overall about the 121? As it is in the configuration at the moment, I should probably actually, does it tell me how much the 121 is? That's the depot, not the store. That's the store. I don't think it's going to tell me, is it? Because I already own it. It is not. It's annoying. I think it was 15,000. 15,000 mods. I may be wrong. My overall opinion on the 121B, if you have the bonds, I think after the buff, 100% it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be quite a mean tank after the buff. I think the only real thing that you're going to struggle with is the gun depression. Like, if we look at some of my stats, obviously with the way it's set up, 1.9 seconds aim time, very nice. 0.29 dispersion, very nice. 3,400 DPM as it is now. Obviously, when the base DPM goes from 2,600 and whatever it was to 2,900, most things like Brothers in Arms, Gun Rammer, everything are percentage based. So obviously that means that when it goes up, the effect of the Gun Rammer, it's no longer going to be 319 extra DPM. It's going to be more than that. So this thing's DPM is actually going to be absolutely insane. Like really, 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 really good. Like I think it's going to be similar to my 140's DPM. If I can find this quickly without spending too long on it. Oh god. I spent too long on it. It's there. 3,500. I think actually maybe it might even be a little bit higher than that. And I'm not running proven consumable in the 140 as well. So yeah, I honestly think it's going to be a really, really, really nice tank. Downsides of it are going to be the gun depression. I think 5 degrees is always very inflexible. It's obviously what keeps I would say the 907 balanced is the fact that you haven't got that extra gun depression. But all in all, I think this thing is going to be a very, very, very good tank. After buffs, I probably am going to have to say, obviously I'll hold my full opinion until I play it, but I would probably say, just looking at the stats now, I'm going to recommend this tank once this thing gets buffed. So, there you go. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I will just jump over into what replays in a second. For any of you who are interested in seeing how I did in the gameplay. But other than that, if you're new to the channel, please consider giving the video a like. I can't speak this morning. If you've enjoyed, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you've enjoyed the video, please give the video a like. I can't even YouTube properly. I can't even crap YouTube properly. Honestly, I'm awful. Don't do it. But yeah, give the video a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. And yeah, we'll go take a look at the post-game stats. There we go. So, if I can get my English out this time, nice and quick. Pretty much 10k combined in that game, guys. Absolutely mad. I put 9k. Oh, I should have put 10k. Oh, not enough clickbait. Not enough clickbait. 4,478 assisted and 5,553 damage. I think I don't know. I think I hit the Jaeger blind. And also, we did actually, where is it? The Object 261, we did hit him for 203 with the HE round. I'm assuming we just must hit a really angled part of the tank or something. It's very unfortunate not to pen with that HE round. That was an ace tanker, tank sniper, and high caliber, which is very, very nice. Like I said, 5,553 damage, 4 kills, which gave us a base XP of 1,207, which apparently is enough for the ace. This ace is quite low, actually. Fired 16 shots, hit 15, penned 14. And we actually made a decent profit, although I think at the time I was running battle payments and personal reserves, and also there's got to be a mission payout or something in there as well. So you don't usually make a huge amount of profit in this. It is not a premium tank. It is just a reward tank like the Chieftain or the 907 or something like that, or the 260. You do not make tier 10 premium credits in this thing. I probably should have said that earlier on. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed, guys. Like I said before, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I'm going to try and do this right this time. If you like the video, please give it a like. Make sure you turn notifications on in the future. And other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time.